As we get set to celebrate our Republic Day, the whole focus is on how has the Republic of India actually changed over these last 10 years. We're just a week away from the union budget, and it's being suggested that this budget is not going to be like any other exercise. It's literally going to be a record of what has been achieved over the last 10 years. Who better than one of the foremost industrialists, political analysts, watchers, Mohandas Pai, to join us tonight on this broadcast and help us understand what has really changed. Mohan, firstly, warm welcome to you
Thank you.
on our new digital broadcasting platform. Let me first begin by asking you. You know, we celebrate Republic Day each year. We celebrate our Independence Day each year. But 2024, is there a uniqueness to Republic Day celebrations in 2024?
Yes, it's unique because it is 75 years after the founding of the Republic. 75 years is a fair time in the life of a republic. It is unique because we've seen that poverty and the multi-dimensional poverty index has come down to 11%. It is very unique because in 2024, we are seeing the rise of India as a nation greatly respected by the world. It is very unique because we are seeing India, grow to 3.5 trillion. That is the third largest, maybe the fifth largest economy on the way to become the third largest economy, possibly in the next 2 years. So all these indications show very clearly that this 75 years is very unique, and the next 25 years we are set for it, with the economy in good shape, with the social structure in good shape, with politics in very good shape, and our foreign policy in very good shape. So we never seen
Le-
all this come together as it is
hmm.
coming today, especially when we see the world is getting more divided, and we are seeing the rise of power blocks with China on one side and the West on the other side, going
Hmm.
away from a sole superpower to two superpower blocks.
What do you think is the relevance of Ram Mandir construction, given the fact that Prime Minister Modi described it as a civilizational question which was being answered? Is it really a civilizational question being answered in the March of the Indian Republic? Where does construction of a Ram temple in Ayodhya stand?
Well, I think let me explain it by talking about some history. V.S. Naipaul wrote a book called India: A Wounded Civilization. When he traveled across India at that point of time, he found Indians to be people who did not believe in themselves, who were defeated, very diffident, not bold, not very courageous in standing up for what they believed in. We're a defeated nation because we had 800 years of Islamic jihadi invasion, and we were suppressed. We had 200 years of the British colonial rule, which impoverished India. And we had 30 years of Indian imperial rule, where Nehru and his family carried on the imperialistic tradition of the British, and our economic liberty was not there at all. When we got free, we had to be socially liberal, economically liberal, politically liberal. Socially, we were liberal, we had liberal policies. Politically, yes, except for the emergency. But economically, we were a shut shop where the license quota Raj, Delhi controlled the economy, etc. And we got our economic freedom only in 1991, right? So he found that. Now, the symbol of that wounded civilization was this structure in one of the most sacred places for our civilization. Bhagwan Sri Ram goes back to an era where there were no other religions, there were no other gods, there was nobody else except Sanatana Dharma in this country. It's a very unique religion which was extremely liberal, which gave the freedom of thought to all Indians and all adherents and allowed them to think and to do what they want with the rule of Dharma, which is essentially a way of governing people themselves and for the ruler. And Bhagwan Sri Ram embodied that. And here comes a conqueror who destroyed the temple dedicated to him in his birthplace, build this structure. It was like a sword in the heart of India, sword in the heart of a civilization, a continuous symbol of a slavery to outside powers. It is not a mere structure that was built. When the structure was demolished in 1992, I don't agree with the demolition. I think it's a wrong act, but whatever it is. And the Supreme Court gave an order, and the Ram Temple was built. A grand Ram Temple was built in the same place where we believe that is the birthplace of Bhagwan Sri Ram, and we opened it. It was the beginning of the renaissance of the Indian civilization. We're going to throw away the yoke, the symbol of slavery, the yoke of slavery to a foreign power. We shall not be conquered again, and we shall stand up and proud, and India shall go forward on the rule of Dharma, and Rama Raja shall prevail, because Bhagwan Sri Ram has come home after 500 years. You know,
Are we
Bhupinder,
a
I was
country
there.
now?
I
Yes.
was there. I was there.
Yes.
I'll explain 1 minute. I was there.
Yes.
I never could fathom that Bhagwan Sri Ram lived in the hearts of all Indians in a manner which was so profound. It is an outpouring. It is an outpouring of joy, of ecstasy among all Indians all over the country. We've never seen it happen before. So that is the foundation of a civilization. When Prime Minister Modi spoke about the importance of Bhagwan Sri Ram, he brought forth the civilization aspect of how it is. Now today we have other religions in this country. Yes, we have other religions which came by invasion, which came by deceit, which came voluntarily, many ways. And they worship gods who are not of this land. They worship gods who are not of this land. Now, we are a secular country, not because somebody wrote in the constitution we're a secular republic in 1977 or 78. We're a secular republic because we believe in the freedom of choice, freedom of religion in Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma does not tell you to follow any one path. That is the reason why there's freedom of religion in this country. Because please remember, 99% of people in this country have not read the constitution. They're not read the constitution. And the word secular.
That's true. And therefore, I wonder about that. Are we as a country and society, we are always high on faith. But would it be correct to say that we are now officially becoming a country where faith occupies equal importance as a spirit of constitutionalism?
Of course. Look, what is the constitution? The constitution is a manifestation of the principles of Ram Raja on which our civilization was built. If you re-see the original constitution, the figures of Bhagwan Sri Ram, we want Ram Raja. What is Ram Raja? Ram Raja is a place where Dharma shall prevail. What is the role of Dharma? Dharma is the rule of law. The rule of law where people will be protected, justice will be done, and people will have freedom. And the rulers will ensure all that is there. And that is embodied in a constitution. And the constitution came about by long freedom, non-violent freedom struggle over many decades across India, right? So I think it's a continuing expression of what we are. And I think this temple has embodied the spirit of India. The temple will unify the whole of Indians, all Indians, because this temple goes back to an era when there were no other religions. We're all the same. It is not that we have people from outside the country who invaded and a large part of the population. The people who follow other religions are Indians, the same racial stock, the same ethnicity, same people, but who choose to follow other religions, and that is fine. That is okay.
Do you see a correlation? What do you see a correlation? You know, I heard Donald Trump a few days back saying that he's been sent by God to help the people of the United States of America. And Narendra Modi also often says that मैं तो मुझे ना बुलाया है किसी ने, मैं आया हूँ, मुझे तो गंगा मैया ने यहाँ पे आपकी सेवा के लिए बुलाया है. That he's been saying. Do you think that in 2024 across the world, not just in India, this godly intervention, spiritual intervention, religious intervention now has become part and parcel of politics across the world?
Look, Donald Trump saying it and Narendra Modi saying it are very two different things. Donald Trump is part of an Abrahamic tradition which believes that his God is the only God and they have been the chosen people and others are pagans or kafirs or whatever it is for other religions, right? For Narendra Modi, is a part of a civilization where he believes that all faiths have to be respected. This country belongs to everybody. That's a very different context. So I don't think that religion plays a greater role in what the Narendra Modi says, except to say that Dharma and the civilizational ethos plays a great role. And in that Dharma and the civilization ethos, there's room for everybody. Everybody is within this entire compass of India and the civilization ethos. Is much bigger than the Abrahamic religions, which are very restrictive, which are violent by nature, and which make war against people of other faiths because they do not accept. As Sanatana Dharma accepts everything. They don't compel you to do everything. In Sanatana Dharma, you can be an atheist. You're welcome. You're part of the fold, right? Because as Bhagwan Sri Krishna says, the Bhagavad Gita, all paths lead to me. You take whatever path you want. And if we all believe that God has created all of us on this earth, which I don't believe because evolution is there, but it's a matter of faith, then there can be only one God. It cannot be your God is separate from my God, and every God is fighting every God, and your God is the only God. That doesn't work, right? What does Sanatana Dharma says? It says there is one superpower, there is a God, every path leads to them. It does not say this is the only path. Now that is the big difference. And Narendra Modi says that is very different from Donald Trump saying it.
Okay, let's look at evolution of India from an industry standpoint. There is so much of focus now, a lot of criticism, often mounted on the fact that only a handful are beginning to grow in India. There's a concentration of wealth, and often Gautam Adani, who's accused of having benefited enormously from the Prime Minister's booty. There was the entire Heidenberg episode, which was investigated by the top post agencies in the country. Do you think the fruits of industrialization in our country, as we get set to celebrate our Republic Day, are fruits of industrialization actually being enjoyed by people who are literally standing at the last end of the mile?
Well, of course, the fruits of industrialization are being enjoyed by everybody in this country, though in varying degrees. Everybody cannot be a Mukesh Ambani, everybody cannot be a Tata, everybody cannot be an Adani. Okay? The Tata's market value is $380 billion. It's gone up from $100 billion to $380 billion. None of these people talk about the increase in wealth of the Tatas. They've been around for long. Mukesh Ambani is about $250 billion in wealth. They've been around for a long time. They have succeeded because they're entrepreneurs. They fought the battle against licensed quota Raj, against corruption in the government. And
Why just Adani? Then why target Adani?
I'll explain.
Adani is specifically targeting. What is the difference between Adani and Ambani?
Please remember, in the 50s and 60s, everybody said Tata Birla, Tata Birla, Tata Birla. Remember? Then in the 70s, 18, everybody said Ambani, Ambani, Ambani Birla, Ambani Birla. Right? Now, the last decade has become Adani, Adani, because Adani has grown very fast. Adani has been in business for 40 years. He has built one of the biggest ports the world has ever seen. This year, in 25, we'll have 500 million tons in his cargo ports. He's got many listed companies. He runs airport, etc. He has borrowed $10 billion from some of the biggest global financial institutions who have trusted him with the money. And, people said he did this wrong, that wrong, this wrong, that wrong. The Supreme Court has clarified that, these are not wrongs. I mean, there's no proof for any of those wrongs. Then the Hindenburg report said he got government gratis. I don't understand what is the gratis he's got for Modi. What is the policy Modi has changed that he has benefited? When he bid for the 7 airports, there were 36 bidders. 36 bidders he won. He has won many of the assets. For example, let me explain. The port business is a business which he built up and he acquired many ports. So you can't accuse him of any favoritism. The airport business, he tied up with GVK and bought the Bombay airport. Other airports he won in a bid. You can't argue. All the power plants that have been set up have been won under bids, where many other people have won under bids. The green energy plant that is set up have been won against auctions and against bid. The oil company that he has, edible oil company, is a joint venture, right? And his enterprise called Adani Enterprise, where he's building roads and all which have been won, is like an incubator. So all these businesses, if you have to look, I don't know what policy the Modi government has been to give him an undue favor. I have not seen it. Please show the evidence.
Is it just a convenient guinea pig? Is Gautam Adani for you all? Is it just a convenient guinea pig?
Yes, it is a convenient. It is a convenient, convenient person to throw a stone at to attack Modi because he happens to come from Gujarat and he grew up from Gujarat. It's very convenient for them to show, but nobody has produced any evidence. And this is typical of these political parties who take money from industrialists and spit off them. You see in the scion of a family go around and abuse Tata, Birla, Mukesh Ambani, and Adani. I will tell you, in the Bible it is said, he who has not sinned, let him cast the first stone. All the people who accuse Adani and Ambani and others, are they sinned or not? They have sinned. They've taken money from all industrialists. Who funds them?
Isn't it funny, Mohan, that Jairam Ramesh, the Congress party's key communication in charge, holds a press conference in the national capital where he accuses Adani Enterprise of let's say illegal activities, and at the same time, in the same breath, Congress's own chief minister, its newly elected government in Telangana, is breaking bread with Adani Enterprise and having tea with Gautam Adani's son. And Adani Group is investing money in the state of Telangana. What does this tell you? Is this the political hypocrisy that you speak about?
The political hypocrisy by Darbaris, family retainers, and people who don't have political legitimacy. If there's a politician who has political legitimacy, who has been elected by the people in an open election, he'll not make such statements. Because if you have political legitimacy, you've been elected, you are supposed to deliver to the people and give them jobs. Who is producing jobs? Is Jairam Ramesh producing any jobs? Has he done any useful work in his life apart from going and giving all these interviews? He has no political legitimacy, except he's part of the Delhi Darbar, he's a part of the family, etc. He's undue influence, right? I mean, he's a nice guy, but for his political future, he has to do all this to make sure that the Darbar is kept amused at all points of time, and he does it. He has not produced any proof. He makes all kind of allegations. They made the allegations of Rafale. It went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said there's no corruption because people who believe in corruption believe others are all corrupt. The people who did Bofors and all of the corruption scams in UPA 2 and earlier believe everybody acts the same way. Everybody doesn't act the same way. This government's highlight has been for last 10 years, there are no corruption scandals in Delhi. That's amazing. Okay. Do you know any 10 years when there have been no corruption scandals in Delhi? When middlemen have not walked the corridors of power, when defense contracts have not been given? I've seen politics for the last 40 years. I don't see anything. I have not seen anything like that before Narendra Modi. So I think, he's doing what he's doing to play politics. And I think we should ignore that. And Adani is the whipping boy to try to get back to Modi. I don't think the great majority of Indians believe anything that Jairam Ramesh says.